bands I mentioned also
Welcome.
were, they're all peers. They're all
Shut
around
up,
the
you
same
fucking
age.
nerd.
But another thing that I think
We gotta talk about this nerd stuff. I'm Civvie. We're playing... I almost said we're playing Ark the Lad. We are not playing Ark the Lad. We're playing Euro Truck. We're doing a World of Trucks job. It's in progress. We're only going to get $2,600 or $26,000, which is basically nothing. But we're doing it online. So then people will be able to look at my account and be like, wow, that guy doesn't do a lot of World of Trucks.
That is tough for
drive with one hand. It's incredibly dangerous.
No one knowing who you are to being a humongous superstar who's on the radio, and at that time, MTV, constantly.
What was he like, Brian? You spoke to him many times.
Actually, well, I'd interviewed him once. I mean, or once or twice, he was very suspicious of anybody interviewing him, especially if he didn't know them, and I didn't have, like, a real relationship.
I didn't have, like, a real job.
I mean, I think, as is the case with almost anybody who gets
he's got a bad voice for this.
When they meet the
or he's got a stereotypical voice.
Media, they're very suspicious of how it's going to, how it's going to be played out or whatever, and I don't do record reviews really.
Get me across this road.
It was mostly the people who did record reviews who had their
Hopefully
knives
not
out for them.
Hurt anybody.
But still, if you're not beloved in the, like,
run into any of these
York
Germans.
Could probably confidently talk to somebody in the press if he felt like doing it, and not worry that they were going to make him look like a clown. Whereas, with Scott Weiland, he just couldn't trust the press because, he'd been stung by them so many times.
Thanks for coming on the show and sharing some of your memories, Brian. Brian Ives, editor of music website radio.com.
I love it when the 5 Live Drive tries to interview people from America, and Americans just don't have anything to say.
X Factor. This weekend, the four remaining acts, Louisa Johnson, Lauren May, Che Chesterman, and Reggie and Bolly, competing for a place in the final at Wembley next week. This from Che had two of the judges in tears.
That sounds like music. I'd be in tears too. We lost the 5 Live Drive. Ah, damn it.
Yeah. The quality of the song always helps. I think actually the quality of the songs has gone up this year. They've chosen well.
They have chosen well, yes. Before that show started, he was the favourite to go this weekend. And it's still down to him or Lauren, so who goes. The other two are through.
With this limiter on, I feel like I'm just kind of driving. It's just a nice Sunday drive, which is technically true for me.
It's a series that has had its problems. It is a series that has had loads of problems.
Sir, I need you to drive faster.
As it gets towards the end, we're going to have a good final three, I think. And the songs like that show that this show can still affect people, can still have real power, and can still get people.
Okay, he's driving. Good.
And
technically, I believe I'm in the wrong lane.
But as it goes into the final straight,
but what you gonna do?
Yeah, you're still writing about it. You've interviewed Louisa for now.
We did. We interviewed, and we were totally charmed by her. Actually, she's 17 years old.
Yeah.
Incredibly sussed, very, very smart, and very professional as well. We were bowled over by her because, of course, you need as much of that as you need the singing skill, the ability to cope with what is a really tough life. Is so important. So the fact she has that as well as this incredible voice will stand.
Hey, we don't need to turn. Just keep driving.
Keep an eye on it. It's over his shoulder.
I think the World of Trucks thing needs like a map display. Because maybe I don't know where everything is in
a bid to make his Christmas extra special, Mason's family is urging strangers
Europe.
to send him a card, and their appeal on Facebook has been shared thousands of times. Leighton, diagnosed with an incurable genetic condition last August, his family have been able to
turns out he was white. An incurable genetic problem.
At 16, it's Manchester United. Boos once again rang around Old Trafford this weekend as United were held to a dull 0-0 by West Ham, and as the ground began to empty of disgruntled home fans well before the final whistle, the Hammers fans were ready with a chant of, "Is there a fire drill?" At 15, it's Migration, another fixture in our charts.
What is going
Lots
on?
of you watching and sharing Channel 4 news footage of Macedonian riot police using stun grenades to stop migrants from crossing the border from Greece.
Get out of here.
1,500 Pakistanis, Moroccans and Iranians have been stranded in no man's land between Greece and Macedonia for weeks because they're considered to be economic migrants and not refugees. At 14, it's a plane landing belly up. More than 2 million people have watched hair-raising footage of a private jet making an emergency
Oh, this is
landing
still that
in
list
Palm
of
Springs,
things people are talking about.
California. After the landing gear failed to deploy, the plane had to try and land on its belly. The aircraft could easily have caught fire due to the sparks as it scraped along the tarmac, but fire crews were quickly on the scene to spray foam into the jet, and no injuries were reported.
Good pilot.
Batman versus
Batman.
Superman, Dawn of Justice. The trailer, the
Trailer
3-minute long
is
trailer
ruins
this week.
everything
Millions of
about
you
that
have been
movie.
watching it online. This
Might as well just have
works out.
fucking Bane in it again. Yes.
Civil liberties are being trampled on in your city. People living in fear. He thinks he's above the law. Most of the world doesn't share your opinion, Mr. Wayne.
Maybe it's Gotham City and me. We just have a bad history with freaks dressed like clowns.
Boom. I'm gonna get fucking wrecked for this sound.
Meets Clark Kent. I love it.
They missed a trick. Should have been Kapow. The two biggest superheroes.
It's
of
too
all time
late
coming face to
anyway.
face for the first time in the
As long as the
movie,
video
which is out in cinemas
stays up,
next
it's all right.
March. Rebecca Perfect is a film
Someone
critic.
else followed
Please
the
tell me a
channel,
bit more about
by the way.
film
That's
and more
nice.
importantly, who'd win it? Who would really
Eventually,
get 2
we'll
rounds?
get back to
10
50.
rounds even
I don't know what
in
happened
boxing
there.
ring. Batman or
Must have done
Superman?
something
Who do you
people
think,
don't like.
Rebecca?
It's probably my
Do you
face.
know what? I am massively on the side of Batman, I think. Much cooler.
You say Batman, Mark Frith. Can you say Superman?
No, do you want me to say something?
No, say what you want. This is
I'm
brain.
going to say Batman as well, just to
Yeah,
throw the whole
nobody
thing.
likes fucking
Your vote
Superman.
counts for 2, so if you say
Does
Superman,
it?
they're equal.
I'm head judge Len.
You are head judge Len. Yeah, but I say Batman based on the films are better. I know there's the whole thing with Superman, the films were great at the time, maybe they've dated now, but boy, there's been some amazing Batman films in the last 10 years. And I just think, as you know, it was just been said, just a bit cooler. Just a bit cooler. The outfit's better.
Trailer
Just a
looks
bit
cool, though,
cooler.
too, doesn't it?
Batman's like a
It's
million
got
percent
that
cooler
edge.
than Superman.
It has got that edge, but also it's got so much in it, and some would argue it's actually got a little bit too much in it, which is what's caused a bit of a controversy around it. But you see so many new characters in here. You finally see Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne come face to face, and you see the kind of animosity between the two of them, which we heard in that clip. You also get a glimpse of the new Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, and you see
I don't
Gal
like the new
Gadot
Lex
as Wonder
Luthor.
Woman,
It's not
which I
bald
think
yet.
brings the whole trinity of Batman, Superman all together, and it's really, really exciting stuff. It looks fab.
That's what winded me up on social media this week, Mark, is that people were moaning about the fact that there was too much in this. How can you know there's too much in the trailer when you haven't seen the film?
Because the film's only
Yes,
going to
I
be
think
90
that's the
minutes.
case. I think if you're left with the feeling that you do not want to see the film, then there's too much in the trailer. I did not get that feeling at all. I felt there was a lot in it, but I still
If
wanted
the
to
film
see
was
the
like
film.
3 hours
that's
and
the
you gave
thing.
me a
can say,
3-minute
"Oh,
trailer,
okay,
that'd be
spoil it
okay.
for me." But if you say to them, "Do you still want to see the film?" and they go, "Yes," then the trailer has worked, my friends. And I think that this trailer
This
works.
person's thing
Bigger
is
than Star Wars.
Fu.
I think it's going to be a battle to be bigger than Star Wars. I think the hype is building really nicely for Star Wars. To a certain extent, it's trying to recapture something that is part of sentiment. and
Man,
part of
Star
our
Wars is gonna
memories
make
of
so
Star
much
Wars
money.
thing. But then I guess Batman and Superman is doing the same thing as well. It's,
Batman and Superman is gonna
you
make
can never
nowhere
be too
near.
big or too bold in the world of movies. Star Wars is a big and bold release. But you could argue Batman
It's not
vs
bold.
Superman is.
There's nothing
bigger,
bold
even
about
bolder.
Disney
They're both
farming
going to be huge films.
It does, though.
their
have-
IP.
It seems
They
to
do
have
it
in the trailer,
all the
like
time.
Loads of special effects, which would turn me off a little bit.
Oh, I think, you know, Zack Snyder, who's directing it, absolutely loves a bit of CGI. But what he does is he does it really, really well. We've seen in previous films that he's done, such as 300
All
and
right,
Watchmen.
here we go.
He creates this incredible look and feel to a movie, especially when it's something like a graphic novel or a comic book adaptation. And seeing things here, like seeing the big villain Doomsday come to life in this trailer, I think it just looks amazing. And I think it's something that you know, for comic book fans, you want to see that re-envisioned, and it needs to be something that's out of this world to kind of get us excited about this movie.
I'm sorry, I can't be excited about any DC property. They're
Definitely
always
something that's
boring.
I actually really want to go and see this on the biggest screen possible.
I feel I've been a little hasty with my judgment that Batman will perhaps do it. Do you have some facts for me, Rebecca, that could maybe sway me one way or the other?
Yeah, so I was just looking at kind of a few things about between Batman and Superman. Obviously, you've got the obvious things. You've got Superman. He is essentially an alien. He's got superpowers. He can fly.
He's not essentially an
He
alien.
can
He's
really
actually
hurt
an alien.
Kryptonite, of which I did not know this before, but there are 5 different types. And essentially, Batman is just a human with some very, very cool gadgets. Going back to kind of the movies as well, Man of Steel, which was an origin story of Superman, you know, it received kind of mixed reactions, and Batman Begins, it was one of those much more iconic origin stories that lots and lots of people really got back into the feeling of a superhero and a character.
You gotta slow down a little bit.
Again, that Superman's got a little bit of an edge. He's a year older than Batman. He first appeared on DC Comics in 1938, and Batman appeared in 1939.
That's not an edge.
16 actors have played Superman, whereas 8 actors have played Batman. But the thing that really swayed me over to Batman is because I found out that actually there is a little crossover with Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, voiced the Joker in the early 90s animated series.
No, he voices the Joker all the time.
Great, you can't get better than that. Rebecca, perfect. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I think
These
I thought
people.
Batman could be
God
Superman.
damn
I
it.
might go to Deadlock, Mark Frith, which is exactly what X Factor's just done.
It certainly has. Of course it would, wouldn't it? It wouldn't ever finish the semi-final without
Give me another
Deadlock. The idea of
5,000.
being,
Or we almost have enough to buy a new garage.
Who's gone home? You're trying to judge by reading the subtitles. The suspense is killing me. While you find out, let's move on.
Number 12.
And it's Chelsea. There's no sign of any let-up for the title defence from hell. Yesterday, Jose Mourinho's men hit a new low, going down 1-0 at home to promoted Bournemouth. Chelsea are now 3 points above the relegation
Number 12
zone.
thing they're talking about is
17
soccer.
leaders
I
left.
guess soccer's
But
pretty
Jose
big.
Mourinho says there's no time for crying.
You know, the team was playing well.
It's lots of
The
time
team
to
was
cry.
playing much
You're
better,
playing
was
soccer.
Much more confident, and nobody would expect to
almost there?
lose this match at home. But is the reality of.
And we got
of
4
things.
hours
We have
still
to face no time
before we'll get there.
To be crying, because in 3 days' time we have an important game in the Champions League.
We're going to talk about some heroics in the Davis Cup next, but who's crying in X Factor, Mark Frith?
Yeah, so Lauren's going home. So Louisa, Reggie, and Bolly and Che who are in the final next
There you have it. That's your X Factor final next
okay.
weekend. At 11 in our chart, it's the Davis Cup. Last weekend, Andy Murray's heroics in Belgium brought the Davis Cup home to Britain for the first time in 79 years.
Down the line from Goffin. Murray's got there. He's got it back in play. Goffin with a forehand. The lob to win it for Murray. He's done it! Andy Murray
Yay!
is on the clay.
He did it!
A lob to win the Davis Cup for Great Britain after a 79-year absence.
How brilliant is that? And that moment for Andy Murray.
Do you know what? I'm a big tennis fan. I've grown up with us just being also rounds in the Davis Cup. You know, you keep hearing these painful stories about how we're out of the top tier, and we're out of the second tier, we're out of the third tier, when we're in playoffs, you know, with Uzbekistan for keeping our place in the Davis Cup top 100. So to be where we are and to have come a long way.
But
And
first
for
we must
him,
finish this video.
one of the
15
greatest
minutes to
tennis
go,
players
at
who I
least.
think is reaching some kind
4
of
hours and 10
status.
minutes.
For Andy Murray
Let's
to
drive.
be such a loyal, devoted part of it, I think is amazing, and is another story.
Will we
itself.
be able to do it
It was
before the end of
truly
this episode?
incredible sporting moment last weekend. I think
What will be number one
the fact that he
that
was
people have been
not
talking about this
physically
week in
mobbed by his
Britain?
entire team when that
Or
final
in the
point was
UK,
won.
I guess.
And he
BBC
literally
probably
pushed them
does the whole
off him
UK,
'cause
not
he had
just-
to go and shake hands, not only
not
with his
just jolly old
opponent,
England.
but also with the entire Belgian Davis Cup team. I'm literally talking about 9 or 10 people.
Yeah.
I think is.
Do you need gas? Nope. Do I need sleep?
Absolutely
Nope. Let's
fantastic. And there's
go.
an amazing
Keep
quote
driving.
from Arnold earlier today, who was asked about the whole Tyson Fury thing, and she was saying about, you know, compare him with someone who is so professional and so brilliant and so chivalrous in the way he conducts himself at all times as Andy Murray. He is just incredible. And no matter who is included on the shortlist, no matter what happens on the night, as long as Andy Murray wins on the 20th, all is good with the world.
Of course,
Just trying not to
former
flip this
BBC
stupid truck.
broadcaster Alice
Wouldn't be the
Arnold
first time.
as well, along with her wife Claire Balding, who will be presenting Sports Personality of the Year this year as well.
Indeed,
They apparently in the patch notes they were talking about that they switched how like fifth wheel stuff works. I don't know if this put down my fifth wheel or not.
Dozing off on the sofa, I was just really tired.
May explain why I'm
his wife,
kind of
seems
wobbly.
to have weaned him off his computer game habits, which I know has been a bone of contention between the two of them before. So whether there was a few computer games in there as well, I don't know. I think it's probably best he does not talk about that. He's wonderful, and of course, he's got a big tournament coming up because next month it's the Australian Open, and it's been a hoodoo for him. He's lost the final 4 times, and he knows that the Davis Cup thing is brilliant, and to have that win beneath his sails means he goes.
I have no idea what game they're even talking about.
A load of confidence.
Would you change him? Because John McEnroe, I don't know if you saw this as well this week, says that he needs to smile more, be a bit more like John McEnroe.
John McEnroe says that. I don't recall John McEnroe ever smiling during his career. He smiles begrudgingly on the BBC now. I don't remember. Wow,
it's really bright sun.
That's
bright. Just wait for VR.
I don't want to change
all those bright VR suns
himself.
blinding you.
It really works for him. And a lot of people think, oh, why is he so aggressive on the court? He's aggressive because he's a machine, and that's what machines have to do.
Man versus machine, it'll always win. And Mark, it's been a real pleasure being in your
Man
company
versus
for the
game,
last
always high
hour
on
and a half or
drugs.
so.
Loved it. Thank you, Colin.
We're going to let you go because I know you need to digest all the social media from the X Factor.
And eat this biscuit as well.
Yeah, you can do that too, Fallout. Although you could have done that on air, which is what I generally do. Mark Frith, then, editor-in-chief at Now, joining us
You
for the
cannot
last
eat
hour
biscuits
and a half with
on...
another guest on the way. This is the 5 Live hit list as compiled by Cosmos. Let's recap from 20 to 11.
Yeah, give me the recap. That's good.
20 to 11.
Number 20.
It's the Facebook share to end all Facebook shares. Zuckerberg gives away 99%.
Number 19.
The former Stone Temple pilot singer Scott Weiland dies aged 48.
Number 18.
It'd be better, that headline would be better, Mark Zuckerberg gives his 99%.
A 9-year-old terminally ill boy wants Christmas cards
That'd be
from all
good.
over
That's
the
a better
world.
one.
Number 16.
Manchester United continue to get the bird at Old Trafford.
Number 15.
Macedonian riot police stop migrants from crossing the border from Greece.
Number 14.
A private jet lands without its wheels in California.
Number 13.
Holy superheroes! It's the trailer for Batman vs Superman.
Number 12.
Another defeat for Chelsea.
Number 11.
Going a little fast on this road, but whatever. What you gonna do?
Live hit list. The top 40 news stories you've been sharing all week online.
Slow down a
I
little
have
bit.
no idea why
A little
I can't
wobbly.
say Andy without saying Andy. It's probably the Essex in me. You too can say that at BBC 5 Live on social media if you want to get in touch. You can text us 85058.
Text them right now, everyone. Text them and tell them I'm watching a YouTube video with you. You should probably sue this guy.
Disagree. 85058. You can get in touch with us by using the hashtag as well. 5 Live hit list. Coming up after 9 o'clock tonight as we bid farewell to Mark. It's the top 10. One rescue tale from the floods in Cumbria, one mother story of an American mass shooting, and 2 politicians and one big debate you've been following all week. Keep up with the stories throughout the program.
What could they be debating about? Is Donald Trump's hair real?
Follow along the charts as it happens between now and 10 o'clock with Stephen Nolan joins us here on 5 Live.
It's not really something you debate about, but you could if you want to.
News and the best live sport. This is BBC 5 Live.
And it's 9 o'clock on 5 Live. I'm Caroline Barker, and this is the 5 Live hit list.
The top news story.
All right, there we go. Let's keep going. We still got. No, we could drop. We could stop for gas. What side of the road is this on? It's on the other side. Fuck it. Yeah, it's on the other side. Fuck it.
This is BBC 5 Live.
Someone's like
With the
whispering.
BBC News on 5 Live, I'm Laura Harms. Tens of thousands of homes are without power after Storm Desmond caused widespread flooding
Not
across
Desmond.
Cumbria,
What the fuck?
Lancashire and the Scottish borders. The army has been evacuating homes and nearly 50 severe flood warnings remain in place.
That's a
The
legit
Environment
thing.
Secretary Elizabeth Truss says the level of rainfall has been unprecedented.
We've had military resources operating. We have the Environment Agency, local
I was gonna
fire
pass
and
this guy, but I
rescue,
can't go any
mountain
faster.
rescue, all operating because there are some very remote villages that have
Aim my
been
curs
affected.
so I can
But
pass
of
this
course,
guy.
in due course, we will be assessing our flood defences. Over the next 6 years, we're investing 2.3 billion in more flood defences to make sure people are protected.
More power in around 55,000 homes could be off for days following flooding at an electricity substation in
Substation?
Lancaster. Two hospitals, Cumberland Infirmary and the Royal Lancaster Hospital, are running off generators, while Carlisle Magistrates Court and Kendal
If I recall,
courthouse will be
for like
closed
hospitals and
tomorrow.
stuff, as long as you bring them
Carlisle United's
gasoline, they can
ground is
run off
flooded.
generators
Squad has
basically
pledged
forever.
to help with the cleanup
Not at
efforts.
full
Mark
power,
Gillespie
but
is the team's goalkeeper, and he had to be
they can
rescued from his
function.
home.
It was up to about halfway up the stairs, so obviously the full downstairs and then outside. And obviously the electric was off. First of all, I was just looking out the window basically and seeing emergency services and canoes and little boats coming to obviously to take away anybody that could. It was scary stuff.
In other news tonight, France's far-right National Front appears to have made big gains in the first round of regional elections. Exit polls show the party as being ahead in 6 of 13 regions. The elections are the first since last month's Paris attacks, in which 130 people were killed. Our Paris correspondent is Houston.
That happened a month ago? Man, so disconnected from the outside world. Feels like it was like last week.
In one sense, won this election. It looks like nationally, if you tot up all the votes, they've got about 29%, which is well ahead of the two other big parties, the Sarkozy's centre-right party, the Republicans, and the Socialists of Francois Hollande.
Police investigating
Man,
a knife attack at a tube
I wish
station have urged
we had
witnesses
like
who filmed the
multiple
stabbing to share their footage with detectives. A 56-year-old man was seriously injured at Leytonstone station last night. The attacker reportedly shouted, "This is for Syria." The local MP, Labour's John Cryer, says it was an appalling
I wish
attack.
we had multiple like people to choose from in the voting. We have like 2 groups, 3 groups, and that's it.
It's just not something people expect.
It's really lame. It's worse in America because you have a group.
Extremely peaceful and harmoniously. That's one of the great things about this area.
A 29-year-old man is
Going.
being questioned on suspicion of attempted
1 hour,
murder.
4 minutes.
A man and his 7-year-old son have died after being hit by a car in South Wales in the early hours of this morning. A 22-year-old has been arrested following the incident in
Sounds about
Talbot
right,
Green.
yeah.
And a man has been charged with sending malicious comments to an MP on Facebook. 23-year-old Craig Wallace was arrested in North London and is due in court tomorrow. The MP is understood to be one of the Labour members who were abused online after this week's vote on airstrikes in Syria. Time for the sport now. Here's Hugh Rosencroft.
Thank you. Jurgen Klopp was more disappointed with the performance than the result in their 2-0 Premier League defeat to Newcastle. Having made 6 changes,
Yeah, that's something you should check out, the things you might not know.
they missed a chance to move into the top 6.
I think he has a video about that. I know he has a video about it, but I don't know if it's only about that, where he talks about like how. Oh no, it's not. It's part of one of. It's that guy. It's the Tom Scott guy, but it's part of his podcast thing. So watch all those. Those are all funny. But there's a thing where like you like how you can badmouth people and how you can't badmouth people in Britain, unlike America, where you can just say whatever the hell you want.
And the BBC Sport website. And Saracens stay unbeaten in rugby union's Premiership.
Technically, you can say
They
whatever the
return
hell
to
you
first
want
place with a
anywhere.
38-3 bonus
You just have to
win
live
over
with the
Newcastle.
consequences.
In the Pro 12, there were wins for Newport Gwent Dragons and Ospreys.
This is BBC 5 Live on digital, online, smartphone and tablet.
Oh.
The weather this
Watch on
evening
the
there will
tablet.
be clear
It's
spells and frost in Scotland. Elsewhere it will turn cloudy and windy from the southwest. Showery rain arriving and that will extend to most parts overnight.
Yeah.
Tomorrow most northern and some western areas of the UK will have outbreaks of rain and strong winds around. There will be some gales in places.
Some gales.
Elsewhere there'll be some brighter
Some
spells,
gales in Wales?
less blustery winds, and temperatures will reach highs of around 12 degrees Celsius.
15 kilometers. Can we make it?
On 5 Live
Oh, it's right
and
there.
5 Live Sports Extra.
Can we
On
do it?
Tuesday night, we have live
Can we deliver this online cargo?
Wolfsburg take on Manchester United. 7:45 kickoff. Then on Wednesday night, Olympiacos against Arsenal. Europe's elite club competition.
This is your football station.
The Champions League on 5 Live.
Now, the 5 Live hit list, the top 40
The
stories
shit
you've been
list.
sharing all week
Oh.
online.
With me, Caroline Barker, tonight sitting in for a poorly Emma Barnett. Joining me now for the top 10, Michael Deacon, parliamentary sketch writer at The Telegraph. And still to come in this hour, one big debate, one surprise football appointment, one jungle
Well, you'll never know what's coming in the next hour because we've made it. We're here.
Exclusively for 5 Live by Cosmos.
So let's get going then.
By Cosmos.
Number 10.
And it's Jamie Vardy. The Leicester striker's unlikely success story has undoubtedly been one of the highlights of the season. He leads the scoring charts,
we're here.
having broken a Premier League record last
I'm
week,
too damn lazy
scoring
to park this
11
properly, so we're just gonna
matches. His success has seen him capped by England
boom.
and lauded as a hero.
Synchronize with the world of trucks.
To the pinnacle of the game in just
1
4
complete.
years. There's even been talk
Unfortunately, I
Hollywood
slept a
interest
little
in
bit,
his
so
rags to
we had a
riches
1% damage.
tail. Not everyone, though, has been celebrating his success.
tried.
A widely shared tweet in response to his record-breaking goal from Telegraph journalist Jonathan
Victory!
Lugo. Congratulations, Jamie Vardy, you massive racist. That
I thought it was a lot
incident
higher
earlier
level.
This year, when Vardy was caught on
Skills.
camera racially abusing a Japanese man in a casino. In response
Huh.
to some negative reactions to that tweet, Jonathan then wrote on
But,
Facebook a post to
there we go.
elaborate, calling Vardy's apology inadequate and saying he should be a pariah
Since we're
and out
we're
of a
looking.
job. Let's talk to football
Nope.
journalist
Well, I
Chris
need to buy more
Daly.
trucks
Hi,
in
Chris.
Frankfurt.
You've got some sympathy, haven't you, for
So let's do
Jonathan's
that.
point of view?
I have a lot of sympathy for his point of view.
Give me some more
I mean, the fact
Volvos,
is that
and we'll
obviously
buy them from
everyone's
Nurnberg like
seen
we
what Jamie
usually
Vardy's
do.
done. Since the
Buy
videos came out in
online.
the last 3 or 4 months,
We'll get a classic,
he's been
customize it.
incredible on the pitch. It's hard to deny that.
That.
But there's been no
yeah,
real,
and we want that one.
actual, sincere apology come forth from
Standard
him.
UK, and we want.
He's
Split.
done the right thing in terms
Oh,
of
look at all these hot
the clubs come out with a
paint
statement
jobs
where
I
he
got.
said, "I'm sorry for the." I think the exact wording was,
Ooh.
"I'm sorry for
So
the people. I'm
sexy.
sorry to the people who I offended."
He said, we've got some of the
Ooh.
apology here. He says, I wholeheartedly
Oh
apologise for
my.
any offence I've caused. It was a regrettable error in judgment. I take full responsibility for and accept my behaviour was not up to what's expected of me. A wholehearted apology.
But I'll just go with blue.
It's very easy to say a wholehearted apology. It's harder to actually, act afterwards like you. Feel
I
that
don't
what
actually
you've done
care to
is
get these guys
as horrific.
anything more, so we'll
Horrific's
confirm.
maybe a harsh word, but it's
And we'll purchase.
deeply unpleasant is what he's done, and all he's done is say,
Luxembourg.
"Sorry,
right?
can I get on
Berlin?
with the football
Frankfurt.
now?" And done very little afterwards
Boom.
to, campaign against racism.
Oh, another one.
Actually make a difference.
Frankfurt.
So that,
Which is
that
over
would
here.
make a difference for you. Michael Deacon with
Boom.
you in the studio. Michael, can you
Have enough.
admire someone's
Good.
sporting talent but not admire them as a human being?
Frankfurt.
Well, I think, of course. I mean,
Boom.
Of course you can. I mean, this links back to Tyson Fury you were talking about earlier. It's perfectly reasonable, I think. These are magnificent.
Let's recruit some
sportsmen,
people.
But they
Buy some
got to
people.
have very pleasant views out of the ring or off the pitch. I think it's perfectly
hire a
reasonable. I
driver.
mean, let's imagine we're not
Let's
talking
hire
about
this
sport, we're
person.
talking about
They seem pretty
literature.
good. They don't look
Poetry.
like
My favourite
a
poet
complete
is Philip
rapist.
Larkin, one of the greatest poets of the 20th century. Now, after his death, his selected letters were
Boom.
showed he'd quite often, in private correspondence, used very racist
Thomas
language,
P.,
very
you
unpleasant.
seem
Now,
like you're pretty good.
How are we supposed to react to that? Do we stop teaching his poetry in schools and universities?
We'll take
because he
fake
thinks
Alex
he sounds like an
Navarro.
unpleasant man? No, we
He's our
can
last
simply
person.
accept that we can still appreciate a
Boom.
wonderful poet, but had some private views
Now,
that we happen to disagree with, and I think the same.
We're
applies
done this
to like
episode.
Jamie Vardy
We filled up
and Tyson Fury.
our
What would you say, though, Chris, if someone
area. We've
said,
listened to
"You know
some
what,
5
sportsmen
drive.
aren't
There's
role
nothing else
models.
for us to
They
do.
came into sport to
Other
play
than,
something that
we
they were
need to
good
check
at,
and
do
see if we
something
can
that they were good at. They
join
didn't go into
matches
it to be a
from.
role model.
I understand that nobody or very few people will go into
So,
football saying, "I
you have
want
to
to
go
into
on
this
to
and
the
be a role model
website
for other people."
to
But the
refresh
fact
your world
is
of
that they
trucks.
are. The
This
fact
is
is that
Civvie.
there's kids running
Sign
around
out.
wearing his name and number on their